All right. So, why is it that half of all new cars sold in China are electric, but in the US, it's only about 7%? Did Americans out there suddenly decide that they hate cheaper fuel costs? You hate smoother acceleration, you hate instant torque? Or is something deeper going on that's costing us all tens of thousands of dollars and basically slowing down the future of auto manufacturing? Because the truth is this, it's not about taste or technology, it's about structure. Right now, America's EV strategy looks a lot like we're driving the wrong way down a one way street with the gas pedal completely floored right now. Here's the situation. Globally, electric vehicle adoption is accelerating faster than we all expected. China, 50% of new cars are new energy vehicles. Europe, 23%. The US, barely 7.5%. It's not because we don't want EVs, it's because the cars we do make are enormous, expensive, and often ain't it people can afford luxury $50,000 cars. Meanwhile, China's out there, it's flooding the world with affordable EVs that cost less than their gas equivalents. Some are $10,000. The price gap between electric and gas cars there basically gone. Here in the US, it is double digits. While we argue about range anxiety, we got a much bigger problem. We're designing the wrong cars and building the wrong policies. Protectionism is history repeating itself right now. If you go back to the 1980s, Japanese automakers like Toyota and Honda were selling reliable, efficient cars that Americans loved. Maybe we loved them a bit too much. Detroit ended up panicking. Instead of innovating to compete, the US government pressured Japan to go into something called voluntary export restraints. Basically, Japan agreed to limit how many new cars they could ship here, which sounds kind of protective. You save American jobs, you save Detroit. But that's not what happened. The Japanese companies just built factories in the US. You end up with a Camry built in Kentucky. All the while, prices for cars, all of them jumped maybe 8%. American consumers paid billions more, and Detroit still fell behind in efficiency and quality. Protectionism itself didn't force innovation, it ended up delaying it. And we're doing the exact same thing today. Now, the US recently slapped 145% or 200% tariff on Chinese imports to protect domestic manufacturers. But the reality is, Chinese auto manufacturers just build US plants too. And you all end up paying more while learning nothing new. Then you got to look at carb load out there. You've probably noticed this if you try to park a car late. Trucks got big. SUVs have been supersizing for decades. But here's the wild part, it's not an accident, it's a design choice that was shaped by policy loopholes out there. Now, under US fuel economy rules, big vehicles like trucks and SUVs have looser efficiency standards. So if you're an automaker and you want to cut costs, guess what's more profitable for you? You just make everything a lot bigger. Now, apply that logic to electric vehicles. We're not building affordable electric cars for the masses out there. We're building massive electric cars for a few people with a lot of money. A bigger EV needs bigger batteries, more lithium, more nickel, more cost. That's why the average electric car in the US costs over $55,000 and why it weighs 2 or 3 tons. So when we say Americans aren't buying EVs, what we really mean is that Americans aren't buying $55,000 trucks because who can? Meanwhile, if you look at Chinese and European automakers, they're pumping out small, efficient EVs for under $25,000. So you're in the EV race, but we're running it in steel toed boots, sunk in concrete. Now, here's the little kicker. All of this, all the tariffs, the carb load, the lack of smaller, affordable models, that all feeds into a vicious cycle out there. High prices mean fewer buyers, mean less investment. Less investment means fewer new models, slower innovation, and higher costs for everybody else. And it's showing up in the forecasts. Heck, just look at your car loan payments. Analysts used to think that by 2035, 60% of new US cars would be electric. Now that number's been cut down to 30%. And it's not because technology failed, it's because policy uncertainty, protectionism, and corporate complacency created an environment where doing less was more profitable for America. And the person who foots the bill for all that stagnation is going to be you. You pay more. You get higher sticker prices. You get fewer choices and a slower transition to, I don't know, cleaner air and cheaper energy. What should you drive away with this? America's EV problem isn't that people don't want electric cars, it's that we're protecting an industry that doesn't want to change. And we've seen this movie before back in the 1980s with Japan, and we know how it ends: higher costs, slower progress, and lost global leadership. If America wants to win the car race, the EV race, you got to stop treating it like a truck commercial. The future belongs to whoever's going to build smaller, faster, and cheaper cars, not the one who builds the heaviest and the most expensive and the biggest car. Because right now, we're not just driving the wrong way, we're making everybody else pay for the gas.